Hello, happy to see you again. Now we are going to talk about procedures in Pro Workflow System module. This video is the first of a series dedicated to procedural creation, customization, and release. But first, let me remind you again that you can get the definitions of all workflow terms watching the presentation video titled Understanding Workflows Automation in Odoo with Pro Workflow System module. Let's go to it right now. Apart from the classic two fields, namely workflow code name and name, we have already seen in our previous videos. We have four additional key fields. By entering values for workflow and model, we are declaring simply that the instances of the model we select for the model field must be processed through the workflow route we selected for the workflow field. The trigger type automatic by default allows to specify the manner this procedure with this procedure will be triggered for each matched instance of the model we selected here. If the trigger type is automatic, each time match the instance of the model we selected here is created somewhere in the overall Odoo system. The procedure is triggered for this instance and the process is initialized. If on the other hand, the trigger type is set to manual, the procedure is triggered for each instance of the model we selected only after we click on the trigger processes button here in the status bar. By default, all instances of the model you selected will match the procedure. To filter out the list of records that will match the procedure, we can use the domain field here to configure a domain which defines the conditions the instances must meet to match the procedure. So now we can, for example, we will create two procedures based on our two workflow route examples. the first, for example, the first will be, we can name it purchase order standard procedure. For example, purchase order standard procedure. The workflow will be our test basic. Test basic. We do not have test basic in our list. So let's remind that a workflow won't appear in the list if it is not correctly configured and ready. So let's see our test basic workflow here. It is not ready, so we have to make it ready for this. The starter workflow. The warning text says that it is missing the starter stage. You will choose creation and save. Now it is ready. We get back to the procedure from purchase order standard the procedure. Now purchase order standard procedure. The workflow will be test basic. Now it appears in the list. We select model. Now we are saying that the purchase order instances will be processed through the test basic workflow. By default, all the records match. We have only to save our procedure. We can see that when we save the procedure, the stages of the selected workflow we have generated each stage for the procedure, and the transitions of the workflow generated each transition for the procedure. So our procedure is now created and ready to be triggered. We need but to be effective, we need to release the procedure. Unreleased or new procedures want to be triggered. They are defined, configured, but not implemented in the system. So to effectively make them available we have to release them, and we can release first, then customize the procedure, or the reverse, customize first, then release. They are both the same. Let's release our procedure now. Now it is released, and we see we can now try the processes for the procedure. So it's all for the moment for procedure creation and release. In the next video, we will start the customization of the procedure with the durations. Bye and see you next.